What's up, people? So, here is the Diamondback Tactical / Battlelab SOF Assault Pack after I dyed it with a series of Rit dye jobs. It was a bit of a mission. I tried initially apple green. Just a quick recap, this was in UCP and it was heavily used. Not abused, but just heavily used, so it took the dye really well. And initially, I tried dark green, because I thought I would yield a dark green, but instead it yielded a really kind of artificial, almost fluorescent shade of color, shade of green, which was actually more leaning towards a bluish almost, and I really didn't like that. So I then dyed it with apple green and a splash of cocoa brown to darken the color a little bit. And I have to say it came out acceptable. It came out a decent military green color, but I may still. And the thing is, it was okay, but the thing is, it needed a third dye job with just a splash of with just a splash of cocoa brown to darken it yet a little bit more. And I'm still thinking I should maybe do this again. The reason for this video is to, kind of let you guys know that this was quite a tiresome process and a massive learning curve. And the thing is, I wasn't happy with the initial color, so I just spent so much time trying to fix it, and I may still give it yet another dye bath with, again, just a splash of cocoa brown to darken it yet some more. Just because it is a strong color, it is still a strong green. Now, this was the pouch that I was planning on putting up here, and as you can see, this is. I have yet to darken this one a little bit more. But that's the thing with cocoa brown, that's quite a strong color, so I just prefer to go pretty light. I gave it a light dip. I didn't leave it in there too long because I didn't know how dark it would become. So, just letting you guys know that the dyeing process for this one was quite a bit of work, and there still may be a little bit left over. But so far, this is what I have for the configuration of the pack. Now, initially, I thought I'm not going to need anything else because I have those massive side pouches where I can put a 1.5 liter bottle in each. But now that I have the pack full, right now I have the Molly 2 Assault Pack inside this pack. And that kind of puffs out, the limited space in the side pockets. So eventually I thought, in this case, I might have to accessorize it. So I threw on the because I can't use the side pockets as for my water anymore. So I threw on these Tactical Tailor pouches, which are designed to hold the 2 liter South African water bottle. There's one in each, so I figured, why not? Might as well. Down there, I've just got some small utility pouches by Warrior Assault Systems. And again, these are an OD. And as you can see, the shade of green is different. I don't know. The thing is, I was hoping to achieve anywhere between a dark Ranger green or an OD or anything between. But right now, it's just a strong military green color that is neither OD nor Ranger green. I plan to pair one of these pouches up here by HSGI, a really nice pouch. And this is in Ranger green. As you can see, a completely different shade from the pack and from the other pouch. But that's why I was thinking I might darken it just a touch more to see if it can kind of tone down that aggressive green color. but so far this is the configuration. I plan to, that's the thing, I plan to put this pouch up here, or seeing as I have Coyote Brown pouches on the sides, I might want to break it up, and maybe this is another utility pouch by Warrior Assault Systems. Might throw this on, might give it a good contrast and just kind of symmetry. I don't know yet, but I'm still working with it so far. But it's, obviously there's a massive improvement from when I just purchased it, and we'll go through the various additions that I plan on putting onto it, or that I already have. So this pouch I plan to put up here, but again, I probably think I'm gonna have to darken this one a little bit more with a little bath of cocoa brown. And in this pouch goes the pack cover, just straight up here, so easy to access. And just, I managed to find one in this kind of grayish whitish multicam. Pretty interesting. It was cheap and it was different, so I picked it up. And yeah, pretty cool pack cover, I have to say. Really nice. Kind of gives it, really good for snow environments, I guess. But just something different. And on the back, what we have, remember it was missing the hip pad? Well, guess what? I was keeping an eye on this one from the Camelback Felon backpack, the one for the French Army in Central European camouflage. And there was just the hip pad. And it just so happens to have the female Velcro, whereas the pack has the male Velcro. And I just slipped it in there, and bam, it works perfectly. Stays in place, and it fits perfectly. So, the design just works well together, like it was meant for this pack. On the inside, we've got like a military greenish, whereas on the outside is Central European camouflage. See, if I darken the pack just a touch more, this is OD. That's the green that I have on this pack. Maybe just maybe, like, see, against this green, it still looks a little artificial, just a touch. So I may darken it a bit more. But yeah, so the hip pad was the other addition to this pack. It didn't cost me too much either. It was €7 plus, I don't know, 4 in shipping or 5 in shipping. So yeah, something like €12. Yeah, I think it was €12. Nice addition. Sorts out the hip pad, the hip belt, I mean. And then in here, I slipped the Black Hawk. Let me open this up for a second, guys. So yeah, as I was saying, in here I slipped the frame from the Black Hawk Titan hydration pack that I cannibalized, and as you can see, it fits perfectly, and it ends pretty much, actually even longer than what I thought. So perfect like that. It just slips in there perfectly, and width-wise and length-wise, it just makes use of all the space, and now it has a proper frame. This thing cannot collapse on itself, so it's looking pretty good so far. As I mentioned, and I'm not 100% happy with the dye job, but so far this pack is geared towards some serious hike, could use this for some actual rucking, because I can really store a whole lot of water on the outside of the pack as well, not necessarily on the inside. I've got 2 liters on each side, plus the small utility pouches by Warrior Assault Systems will fit a canteen just about, and then I can slip my other 2 canteens in here. So that's 4 canteens for the day hike, plus an extra 4 liters on the sides, and then whatever else I need to put inside the main bag. But this is what we have so far, guys. So all in all, this is definitely an improvement from before, I think. Oh, maybe not so much. Maybe I think I might have actually preferred UCP, but I still think I can fix this. Just a touch more cocoa brown, I think, would do the trick. But other than that, it's looking fairly good, and you know, the main additions really help this pack out. And by that, I don't even mean the pouches, because I'm actually thinking eventually I might strip it down of all the pouches, or at least, you know, the 2 liter South African ones, just because it's, you know, it's such a huge pack in itself. It would be nice to just use it just as a standalone pack, with maybe just a few extra add-ons, like, you know, the pouch for the pack cover and stuff like that. But it has so much space already, and we went through the features in the previous video, so I'm not going to bore you too much again. But otherwise, it's looking pretty good. See, on camera, it still looks a little artificial, but the shade of green is still a little different. See if the light doesn't hit it. On camera, it looks a little... See, now it looks a little better. See, this is the kind of green that I'm looking at. Still a little faded on camera compared to the strong green that I'm looking at. See, seems to like blend with the light. I don't know. Like, the further I take this from the pack, at least when I'm filming it, it still looks a little fluorescent, or, you know, kind of bright. But that's why I just plan on... There we go. That's closer to what I'm looking at. But either way, and oh, that's the Molly 2 Assault Pack that I dyed with apple green and a splash of cocoa brown, and I much prefer... I was hoping for something closer to that, but as you can see, the green is completely different shade of green. This is a really strong shade of green, whereas that's a lot more muted, and I want to try and tone this down a little bit more still. But that's about it, guys. So far, this is what I have for this pack, and I'm liking it. It's a really nice pack, really quality materials, strong as can be, 1000D Cordura, and I'm keen to try this at some point. Definitely keen to try this. So what can I say, guys? Without boring you any further, thanks for checking out the this pack and the various improvements that I tried to upgrade it with. And as per usual, I guess we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching, guys.